Hi folks, HR Funk here, out on the range with my brand new Beretta M9A3 pistol. Now if you saw part 1 of this video, which was my shop review of the M9A3, you already know that I recently acquired this pistol, recently as of a week ago today, and this is my first opportunity to come out and shoot it, and I'm very much looking forward to the experience. Now a couple of quick things that I want to mention before I start through my shooting drills with the M9A3. First off was a comment that I made in part 1 of this video where I mentioned the polymer guide rod and that I was not a big fan of the polymer guide rod in the M9A3 considering the price of this particular pistol. Now I had a viewer write in, and one of the things that he mentioned to me was the polymer guide rod was used on the M9A3 purposely, and if you notice the cruciform shape of the guide rod, the reason for that is if sand gets inside the pistol, that gives a place for it to go to hopefully keep the pistol functioning rather than tie it up as a result of the sand being inside. The other thing that he mentioned along those same lines is that a steel guide rod of full diameter fits much more tightly into the pistol, and that could potentially allow sand or some other foreign material to cause functioning problems. The other thing that I want to mention also came from a viewer who said that the M9A3 is a pistol that he's now had for a year or so, and he's had quite a bit of difficulty finding holsters for it, particularly duty holsters. Now I don't intend to carry my M9A3 on duty. However, I've already been in contact with Skip Boyer and we've been collaborating back and forth about a holster for my M9A3. So stay tuned, that holster is going to be making an appearance in a future video. Alright folks, it's just about time to stop talking and start shooting the M9A3. The ammunition that I'm going to be using today to begin with is Remington 115 grain full metal jacket ammunition. Along the way I'm going to change over to some 124 grain Blazer brass, and also just for comparison purposes I'm going to shoot some of these drills with my standard M9 as well as my M9A3 to see how much difference there is between the two pistols. Now I'm expecting the biggest difference that I'm going to notice will have to do with the improved trigger of the M9A3 and the sights, which have the 3-dot system as opposed to the standard military 2-dot system on my M9. So here we go, we're going to start out with the 30-foot accuracy test. Let's see how the M9A3 shoots. And there's a very respectable group from 30 feet with the M9A3. Those went into just over an inch, just slightly over an inch from that distance. Accuracy is very good. The trigger on this pistol is excellent. That's one of the things that contributed to this accuracy a great deal. I am hitting slightly off to the left, and I'm not sure if that's just me getting acquainted with the pistol or if I might need to drift that rear sight a little bit. But with a group like this and the kind of accuracy the pistol is demonstrating, I'm not too worried about being able to center that group one way or another. Folks, I've now moved back to 50 feet and I'm going to start to shoot the M9A3 a little bit more the way it was intended to be shot. I've replaced the bullseye target with the human silhouette. I'm going to be firing 10 shots from this distance. Let's see how it does. And I'm pulling them just a little bit low and to the left from 50 feet. They stayed in the preferred area. And again, this could just be me getting acquainted with this trigger. That single action trigger is very light, and it almost catches me off guard when it breaks. So I'm going to keep working with it. We're going to move on to some different drills, and we'll see if my group starts to move and how things start to look. Folks, just to get some basis for comparison, I'm going to shoot that same 50-foot drill with my standard M9 and see how it does. Well, the group from the standard pistol is definitely more well-centered, but it's also larger than the M9A3. And as I mentioned before, I think that's largely a result of the better trigger on the M9A3, more so than really any more inherent mechanical accuracy between that and the standard M9. In any regard, we're going to move on from this drill, try some other more close-range defensive drills, and see how the M9A3 does on those. Okay folks, it's time for a 20-foot failure drill. In this exercise, I'm going to be shooting 2 shots to the body and then 1 shot to the head in rapid succession. I think in this drill, I'm really going to like this improved trigger in the M9A3. By the way, in case you hadn't noticed, up to this point, I'm starting all of these exercises firing the first shot double action and then each shot after that in single action mode, just like I would be carrying the pistol. Oh yeah, I'm liking the M9A3's trigger on this drill. All the body shots, they're in a nice tight group in the chest. Headshots are in the head. I pulled this one a little bit low and to the left. That's my fault. These two are both good shots. So again, the pistol did very well on this drill. Now let's move on to the multiple adversary drill. And I'm set up for the multiple adversary drill. In this exercise, I'm going to fire 1 shot at the target on the right, 3 shots to target on the left, and then 2 more shots to target on the right, all in rapid succession. I think this is going to be another one where this trigger on the M9A3 is really going to shine. And yes, that trigger did shine on the multiple adversary drill. Got 3 shots pretty much dead center in the target right here, 3 shots here. This was a little low and to the left, but these 2 are definitely good shots. I didn't time that, but I'm guessing all 6 of those shots were probably in something like 2 seconds, and I think I would have stopped both of my hostile adversaries. Folks, I'm going to try that multiple adversary drill with my standard M9, partly because I want to compare the 2 pistols, and partly because I just like shooting that drill. And the standard M9 is certainly no slouch when it comes to shooting that drill. 3 good shots here, 3 good shots on this target. And again, the time was probably roughly 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, something like that for all 6 shots. All right, folks, time to do a little bit of extended range shooting with the M9A3. I'm now set up at 25 yards, and we'll see how the pistol performs from this distance. Also, I've changed ammunition. I've gone from the 115 grain Remington Full Metal Jacket ammunition to the 124 grain Blazer Brass, also Full Metal Jacket ammunition, and we'll see if that has any bearing on the way the pistol shoots. Also, this time around, I'm going to shoot the M9A3 with my standard M9 magazine, just to check the functioning of that magazine in the M9A3. And not bad from 25 yards. All 5 shots are in about 3 inches there, give or take. Got 4 shots in a nice tight group. This one a little bit off to the left. I'm sure this was me. And overall, I'm pretty happy with that from 25 yards. Folks, the water bottle desperados are back in town, and they're carrying on with all their villainous ways. I think it's high time we teach them some manners with the M9A3. Well, folks, I had to sling a little more lead than usual, but in the end, I think they got the message. All right, folks, we've arrived at the moment of truth where we answer the question, is the M9A3 a 20-foot tack driver? I'm loaded up with 3 rounds, and we're going to find out. Not on the first shot. Still hitting a little low and to the left. On the third shot, I aimed a little bit high and to the right on that one and drove that sucker out of there. By the way, Grendel Grendelson, that one's for your daughters. Tell them I said hi. And there you have it, folks, the first range outing with my M9A3. A couple of thoughts here at the end of the video. First off, it's obvious the M9A3 is not a target pistol, but then again, it wasn't designed to be a target pistol. It was designed to be a fighting pistol, and in that role, it is very good. As we saw in those close-range defensive drills, with this trigger and these sights, the shooter has every advantage to hopefully prevail in that type of a defensive encounter. Also, the M9A3 was 100% reliable. Now, I pretty much expected that based on my previous experience with the M9, but it's nice to know that this pistol has that same reliability built into it as the other Beretta pistols that I've used. Now, when I get back to the shop, I'm probably going to drift this rear sight just a little bit to the right because consistently I was getting those shots going to the left, even right up to and including my shots at the thumbtack. That last shot I took at the thumbtack, I really couldn't even see the tack. The pistol itself was blocking my view and I was just guesstimating about where to hold, and I guesstimated right. So I'm going to take care of that slight windage situation there. The elevation, I'm not too worried about. Again, as a fighting pistol, if I hit here instead of here, I'm not too worried about that. One last thing before I go, folks, and that's a sneak peek at the firearm you're going to see in my next video. This is a CMMG Banshee 9mm pistol. Look for this one coming up next time, and there's a story that goes with this pistol, and I'll tell you about that in the next video. But as you can tell by the music starting, that's the end of this video. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to send those to me as always. And until next time, good shooting. Bye-bye.